Choosing the wrong vehicle for New Zealand can cost you thousands of dollars and waste days of your holiday. Most first-time visitors book a motorhome, campervan or rental car before they even plan their route. That's backwards, and it's one of the biggest mistakes I see. My name is Michael. After helping thousands of travelers plan their New Zealand trips, I found a simple strategy that can save you both time and money. Let's get started. Did you know that it would be over 2,200 kilometers on the road when traveling from the most northern tip of the North Island, Campervan, to the most southern point in the South Island, 𝗏𝗏? That's either from Copenhagen to Rome in Europe or from Los Angeles to Oklahoma City in the US. So most people come to me and ask, Michael, which one is the best? Renting a car, a campervan or a motorhome? And honestly, that's the wrong question. Every choice sits on a simple trade-off: cost, comfort and travel style. And here's the kicker: you can't max out all three. A big motorhome gives you comfort, but you pay for it on cost and how much ground you can cover in your limited holiday time. A rental car gives you freedom and low cost, but you're booking beds every night. A campervan sits somewhere in the middle. So before you look at any single vehicle rental, answer the first question. What kind of trip do you want? Freedom and flexibility or comfort and space? Get that clear and the vehicle almost chooses itself. I got some free sample itineraries and a travel planning app linked in the description box below, which will help you big time to get your trip started. Now back to the distances. Here is the key issue that catches people out every single time. On the map, New Zealand looks small. 2 islands, a few hours in between the highlights. But here's what most travel guides won't tell you. Our roads are winding, they're often single lane each way, and they're somehow slower than any map suggests. And with a large motorhome, it's slower again. You will cover far less ground in a day than you think. Here are some specific numbers. Queenstown to Milford Sound, for example, is a 5-hour drive one way. That's 10 hours of driving in a single day. Far too much to be enjoyable. Also, there are too many glorious places to stop and local walks to do in the 𝗬𝗆𝗆𝗃 National Park. My advice is simple: give yourself more time than you think you need. Our European friends often bring 3 to 4 weeks for New Zealand, and honestly, that's a great time budget. If you only got 2 weeks and you're trying to do both islands, a joint motorhome will eat your holiday in driving hours. Quick question: which option do you lean towards? A rental car, a campervan or a motorhome? Drop it in the comments box below. I read every one of it. But hold on, because what's coming up soon is the part most people get completely wrong. It's a way to travel New Zealand that most tourists never consider. And it can save you days of driving and over $1,000 in peak season. Stick with me, we're nearly there. Right, the rental car. Most people think a car isn't a proper road trip vehicle. No bed, no kitchen, surely you're missing out. But here's the thing, a rental car is the cheapest to hire, the cheapest to fuel, and by far the most flexible on where you can go. And there's one advantage most travelers completely miss. Larger motorhomes are restricted to sealed roads. There are specific roads in your rental agreement. You simply cannot take them. A rental car has mostly none of that. So if you want to stay in smaller, more remote places, local bed and breakfasts, cottages, etc., the spots down a narrow gravel road with no motorhome access, where you actually meet the locals and get the real New Zealand, the rental car wins. It's also the smarter choice in the cooler months when freedom camping loses its shine due to colder temperatures and shorter daylight hours. What's the better move for shorter trips or a couple's trip focused on people and unique stays? 9 out of 10 times it's the rental car plus a bit of accommodation. Right, we're halfway through this video, and what's coming next is the trick I promised you at the start. It's the one I give my own guests when they're short on time or can't decide. If you find this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button below to stay in touch for more helpful travel videos to come. Also, please tick that little like button below as it helps our channel to grow. Thank you very much. Right, next, the split. Now, this is the part most travelers never think about. You don't have to choose one vehicle for the whole trip. Remember what I said about distances eating into your holiday? Here's the fix. Travel to North Island in a rental car. It's compact, fast, and the car gets you into the coast and countryside easily. Then fly to the South Island, pick up a camper van or a motorhome there, where the big scenery and the freedom camping actually earns its reputation. Connect the two islands with a domestic flight, not a slow and sometimes cancelled ferry crossing between the islands. And here's the detail most travel guys won't tell you. The airfares out of Auckland down to the South Island are often the cheapest in the country, so you're saving on the flight, not just the driving. I got some sample itineraries in the description box below, plus the travel planning app, which will help you big time when planning your trip out. Also, if you have never traveled in a larger motorhome, plus on the other side of the road, which is sometimes a bit of a challenge, this split is your low-risk way to try it. If it turns out that the motorhome is not your thing, it hasn't spoiled your entire New Zealand trip. That one decision can save you days of driving in peak season as well as thousands of dollars. That's the move I recommend, especially if you have limited time. Okay, so you have decided part of your trip you need a vehicle you sleep in. Now, the question many get wrong, do you actually know the difference between a camper van and a motorhome? Most travelers use the two words as if they mean the same thing. They booked the wrong tier because of it. They are not the same. A camper van is smaller, space for 2 to 3, a small kitchenette, easy to drive and park. A motorhome is larger, up to 6 people, a proper bathroom and shower on board, a full kitchen. The one thing that matters most for planning is the self-contained certification. That's what lets you freedom camp at designated spot, and it changes where you can legally park overnight. Basically, you will have a toilet on board and the waste is collected and you can release it at designated spots. And here's where it hits your wallet. In the peak summer season, so between November and February, motorhome fleets are limited and prices skyrocket. A luxury motorhome can run New Zealand dollar 350 to 600 a day, while a mid-range camper van sits around $200 to $300 per day. Check out the prices in the Drive Now price comparison site in the description box below. You get a variety of rental options, prices, and most important, policies in one place to compare. And don't forget about the Cook Strait ferry. If you take a vehicle across, let's say a 6.5 meter motorhome with 2 passengers, that's around $500 New Zealand one way. So what's the better move for most couples? Don't default to the biggest motorhome. A smaller camper van gives you the flexibility to freedom camp one night, book a motor park the next, or even treat yourself to a proper bed here and there for a lot less money. Save the motorhome for families and groups who genuinely need space and adventure for the kids. I go through all of this operator by operator in my full motorhome and campervan rental video. Check it out in the description box below. And again, there are some links to motorhome, campervan and rental car comparison sites. I highly recommend using them, as you get not only the prices but also policies in one place, all easy to understand and to compare. So here's what I really want you to take away from this video. This has never been about the best vehicle. It's a chain. Your time budget decides how much ground you can realistically cover. That decides your vehicle. And your vehicle decides your route, where you can drive, where you can sleep, and who you get to meet along the way. Get the first link wrong and the whole trip falls apart. That's the thing I tell every single traveler I work with. A rental car, a camper van, and a motorhome each ask you to plan your New Zealand holiday in a completely different way. So here you have it. Match the vehicle to your trip, not the other way around. Give yourself time, use the car for the North Island and the remote corners, and camper or motorhome in the South Island for freedom. And if you're short on time or unsure, split the trip and fly between the islands. To get a head start on where you actually drive, download my free sample itineraries in the description box below or use my trip planning app. Both are linked there. Next up, watch my video Campervan rental in New Zealand up here. It's the perfect next step once you've picked your vehicle. Thanks very much for watching. See you in the next video.